welcome to another episode of On Patrol with the Suffolk PBA. I'm CJ Hutter, the treasurer of the PBA.
I'm Tan Brendon, the sergeant at arms of the PBA.
And today we're excited to have Suffolk County Police Officer Brendon Gallagher on with us. Thanks for coming on, Brendon.
Of course. Anytime.
So, for everybody out there watching, tell us a little bit about your history before coming on the police department. I know you're a military veteran. I think you served in the Army.
I did.
Yeah.
So, after high school, I joined the Army National Guard, in 2013. So, I did that for about 10 years. I got it in 2023. But in the interim, I worked for the DOT, the New York State DOT, doing highway maintenance for a few years in the Melville Yard. Met a lot of good people. Then when I was doing that, I was doing an apprenticeship at Local 138 for the equipment operator. So I did that, did the apprenticeship. They offered me a job at Aspen Construction doing natural gas, doing locating for a directional drill. So I did that, quit the DOT, then started doing that. And then I actually thought about moving to Florida at one point. So went on vacation, went to Florida to look for police jobs.
Okay.
And then as soon as I got off the plane in Orlando, I'm sitting there and I got an email from Suffolk. So I'm like,
did you always want to be a police officer? Was that your main goal?
Yeah, I did. Very inspiring. So I wanted to do that. And I also wanted to retire in 20 years. So
yeah, the retirement definitely helps, draw the best candidates we can. That's for sure.
Yeah.
So what were some of your assignments and duties when you were in the Army and when you were, in the Guard?
So I went to AIT to be a military police officer, which it was like a support element in my unit. We really didn't do much policing or dealing with any police things really. But they sent me to PSD school, which is like personal security. It's personal security. It's a personal security school to learn how to do certain convoys like President Trump's escorts, how they're staggered, do that and cover maybe some entrances that would come at you or whatnot on the road. And then we did that school to go to Afghanistan to escort, I guess, anybody who would. So I was stationed at Camp RS in Kabul. So any diplomat or any high up military guy would fly in and be like, yeah, I need to go see the Afghan engineers. So we'd be like, all right, come on. We were pretty much like a heavily armed Uber. And they get in the middle, they get in whatever truck and we drive through the city and up armored Toyota Land Cruisers and bring them wherever they got to go.
Oh, that's pretty cool. So,
yeah.
So you were able to secure, people that of importance to us, of importance to, the Afghan, cause over there that we're trying to support. And you were able to, kind of help make a difference for your country and keep everybody safe, make the mission happen.
Yeah.
Make the mission go forward. Yeah. Now, when you were over there, did you meet any other police officers, anybody who may have had some influence on you and wanted to become, a Suffolk County cop in particular after, going down to Florida looking for police jobs?
I met a few city cops when I was there, briefly, because I wasn't a cop, so I really didn't care. Right. Everybody I went with was cops, all of them.
Right. But that's the thing. A lot of our members are in the military prior to coming on.
Yeah. So they were always talking about cop stuff, and I'm like, I'm here, this big working guy. I'm in the union. I'm like, I don't want to talk this cop stuff. But then once we all got back, the people who weren't cops eventually became cops.
Right.
And including myself. So we all ended up on the same job, most of us.
All right, cool.
So, yeah, it was cool.
So once you get back and, you get the call from Suffolk County, you go through the hiring process, you get hired. What was it like going through the academy and the training for the first time? Was any of it comparable to the military training you've received?
No, the academy was way harder.
It was?
Yeah. Even still, I went to basic training in 2013, which was, I guess some would say, a little harder than now because they baby I hear now. But definitely a lot harder. Okay. Yeah, definitely a lot more challenging.
And then once you graduated the academy, where'd you get assigned?
The 6th Precinct.
6th Precinct, right. And you worked regular patrol there, the two-tour patrol?
Two-tour patrol, regular patrol, mainly in like Medford-Quorum. I ended up in the Medford-Quorum, Gordon Heights area, floating.
Now, eventually you end up responding to a call in 2022, the first of 2 times where you're involved in a critical incident where you almost lose your life. So in December of 2022, were you partnered up with Raymond Stock, or were you guys in a double car, adjoining sectors? How did that work out?
So Ray usually partners with Kevin Smith, and Kevin Smith was out. So me and Ray are best friends. He was like, hey, come with me that day. So.
Okay. All right. So December 28th, 2022, you and Ray Stock are riding in a double car together. Take us through that day.
So we get a call in 618. We were 617.
Okay.
And we get a call in 618 sector for a 2-3, which is a mental health call. So we responded to that because 618 was busy. And we get there and there's a social worker and I guess the case manager, some would say for a person, a case manager, and the roommate. And apparently the subject was menacing his roommate with a fire extinguisher. It was a group home, a group condo home. So then at that point, Mike Livorio, the 619 operator, came. So me, Ray, and Mike all go upstairs, run of the mill. Just, we're going to talk to him, bring the CPAP most likely. So the case manager had keys to the door. He locked himself in his room. So we just opened the door and we're talking to him just like any normal, hey, what's going on? And one thing led to another. And within 5 seconds, me and Ray was stabbed and the subject was put down.
How quickly did things change during that? I know you kind of got straight to the point, but during that situation, because oftentimes we show up to calls like this and you're trying to talk down the person. Did you guys open the door immediately and then he kind of came at you, or were you guys trying to talk him down and trying to get him to go?
We stacked up at the door. It was upstairs on a loft. You walk up, then there was a landing, and then you walk up again, and there was 3 rooms, and he was in the far one. So we were trying to talk to him through the door. He's not having it. We just maybe for 5 seconds, or 5 minutes maybe. So now we're just putting on our gloves. He's in there. We don't know what he looks like, who he is. Well, we know his name, but we don't know what his deal is, So then we open the door. It was Ray, me, and Mike. So Ray opens the door, swings open, and hits a bunch of stuff behind the door. The room is a mess. And just sitting on his bed just like this, just sitting. And then we went to go grab his arms, and I don't know how or where that knife was. Maybe under him. Reach it, when it happens so quick,
right?
You just
tunnel vision almost.
Yeah. Right. So we're all on him. We're going from each side of the room, knocking things over, and then you don't notice the knife at the point. You're just trying to wrestle him, get his arms. But at that point, he's flailing the knife around. He gets Ray in the neck and the thigh, and then he gets put down. And then I didn't know I was stabbed. Ray walked out of the room. He's all bloody and stuff, and I'm trying to secure the perp. And then I realized, I got stabbed. Because you don't feel it. I guess it's so sharp.
Yeah, the adrenaline's running.
Yeah,
and this was not a small knife either.
It was massive.
Yeah, this was like one of those Rambo-style hunting knives.
Yeah.
So when you see Ray get stabbed, because you guys knew Ray was stabbed right away. You didn't know you were stabbed yet. What's going through your mind?
So Ray, I didn't know how bad Ray was stabbed. Ray was stabbed really bad.
Yeah.
So he went downstairs, sat on the couch, and was assessing himself. And I wanted to make sure he was gone. He was done. But
right, when you say put down and gone, we fired our weapons at him.
Yes,
and,
correct. Yeah. Ray did.
Ray did.
So eliminated him, and then we went downstairs to assess ourselves. And I looked at Ray. Ray, at that point, our Sergeant Zirkle, came in and was helping Ray. And I sat on the couch next to him, and I was trying to see where I was stabbed because it felt wet. I was like, I got stabbed. And I knew I got stabbed in my hand because it cut my glove, and I think I grabbed the knife. I grabbed it, and he just pulled it out of my hand.
Okay.
So I was all sliced up in my hand. But I didn't know I got stabbed in my body. So as Sergeant Zirkle was stuffing, I think it was kitchen towels or something. There was nothing there. To kitchen towels, stuffing in his neck and stuff, trying to stop the bleeding. I was taking my clothes off to assess myself. And at that point, the cavalry came and it worked out.
Right. So while you're assessing yourself, after you notice the hand bleeding, the slice from when you're trying to block the attack on you, when do you realize you're stabbed in the chest too? When do you realize that you're bleeding from your abdomen?
When I was in the room with the perp.
Okay.
I was once everything happened, I was like, all right, I'm trying to assess what just happened.
Yeah.
And then I'd get lightheaded a little bit, but I wasn't losing out. I wasn't, it was a tissue wound. But, I was like, how you don't know how bad it is. You don't know what, it just happened so quick. You don't know if you hit an artery or anything. So I went downstairs and I felt that. And then I also got stabbed in the shoulder.
Okay.
And the chest.
I think it's important to emphasize. You keep saying it happened so quick, and I don't think that really, like, maybe people that are watching this show, or maybe that tune in to watch like whatever police show is on TV, they realize really how quick these things happen. Like in a real life standpoint, you're saying that like you didn't realize you guys were he was flaying his arms and everything. You guys were trying to get him under control, and all of a sudden he has a knife in his hand, and he hits Ray, and then he hits you. Things change really quickly.
All in 5 seconds.
The public doesn't realize that. I feel like.
No. So a lot of people quarterback it, but until you're there and actually fight with someone with a weapon, or that happens to you, you could judge all you want, but until it happens to you, then you could.
Right. And I'm glad you bring that up, because it's very important that people realize, until you go through a situation like this, it's very hard to understand the thought process and how you would react personally. And I think it's important when we talk about civilian complaint review boards and such, it should be police officers reviewing a police officer's actions.
Oh, totally.
Not a civilian, not somebody who's never stepped foot in those shoes, has never been in a dangerous situation like this before.
Never even put hands on somebody.
Right. And in any line of work, like doctors review doctors, police officers should be the ones reviewing police officers.
Oh, totally agree.
Especially in the line of work that we do, because things change so quick. Like doctors and lawyers can critique doctors and lawyers, but for some reason, the civilians get to critique the cops. A civilian that's never been in that situation before in their life, and now they're going to make an assessment and try to give someone, oh, this guy should be penalized or punished for those actions, when they don't know themselves how they would have reacted in that situation.
Oh, totally. I totally agree. I think it's straight up BS. Right. I don't think that should be a thing, because if you have nothing else to do but be a part of a civilian review board, I'm sure you're biased in your opinion towards police. So I think personally, I never met anybody on a civilian review board. But if I was there, I would imagine I don't like the police.
So, the suspect and the subject, that the attacker was shot and killed. And it was justified deadly physical force.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So, Ray Stock was the one who actually pulled the trigger and killed him. While you're sitting there on the couch with Ray and you're assessing each other's wounds, you're trying to treat each other, how is he acting, like knowing that he just shot somebody? Is there any acknowledgement of that yet, or is it more of, I'm just worried about my own life?
Ray was Ray's a character. He really didn't seem like, he didn't care. He did his thing, and he was just trying to fix himself at that point.
Right. He stopped the threat as quickly as he could, because your lives were
He did his job. He did his job.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Totally. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So once the cavalry gets there, right, the ambulances are there, there's 40 cops on scene, everybody's there doing whatever they can to help. You get thrown into an ambulance and you ride over to Stony Brook?
Ray does first, because his injuries are worse than mine.
Okay.
So after they stabilized Ray, he was the first one to go, because I ended up figuring, I just had a flesh wound, so I could chill for a little bit. So Ray left. Ray got airlifted first, and then me probably 10, 15 minutes later. Mm-hmm. So.
And you get thrown into an ambulance and transported to Stony Brook?
Yeah. It was, it's like chaos out there.
Yeah,
there's 15 ambulances. Nobody knows, there's a cop driving this ambulance, and, so I went into the back of a ambulance, and then one of the MedCat chicks put a chest seal on me, and I have a very hairy chest. So as soon as I got to the hospital, and Foss just...
Oh, that must have hurt.
So I'm glad you bring up MedCat, because we talk about MedCat all the time and the value that they have and how they've saved countless police lives, but civilian lives too.
Oh, yeah.
And that's a program that's very unique to Suffolk County and that I'm very proud to have out here, because MedCat was able to ride in that ambulance with you and give you, we describe it all the time as being combat medics out on the road. Mm-hmm. And she was able to basically do that combat medic treatment for you after getting attacked and stabbed.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, both times. I mean, just, they're always there.
Right.
And, if it wasn't for them, there should honestly be more of them, I think.
There should be more. Do you remember who was on the ambulance with you? Which MedCat officer?
I think it was Alexis. I'm not sure. I don't remember.
Right. There's a lot happening.
There is. Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot of people on the ambulance.
Yeah. She's great.
Oh, yeah.
they're such a valuable tool to everybody here in Suffolk County. So once you arrive at the hospital and Voss rips off the bandage that she applied,
it hurt more than getting stabbed.
How aware of you of what's going on? Do you remember like talking to Dr. Voswinkle? Do you remember getting prepped for any sort of treatment after that?
So when I got to the hospital, I went into the emergency room, and it was just hundreds of people, cops, just from everywhere, just walking around. They had to move them, get me in there, get me into a room. They assessed me. Then I was like, all right. They were, I was hanging out. Everybody was there. They were like, all right, some guy came in, some nurse started stitching me up. Meanwhile, at that point, Ray was in the operating room getting his neck fixed. And I was in the hospital for like 2 days, 3 days, and discharged, and he was there for a little bit longer. They put him in a coma.
So what kind of treatment did you go through for those 2 or 3 days?
It was just really stitches, and I think something was off with my iron.
Okay.
Or something. So they kept me another day or two. But I was up walking around and doing whatever in the hospital.
Like from your point of view, and I know you've gone through this twice, but how great of treatment did you get from Stony Brook and from Dr. Voswinkle? Like how nice is it to have a doctor that that you're going to and that you're going to be treated and taken care of?
Oh, it's amazing. It's the treatment I got at that hospital from everybody, even from the outpatient at Stony Brook, like PT. It's just unbelievable. The care, and
I'm sure that goes for the nurses and all the doctors that are taking care of you guys.
Everybody there, the doctors, all the nurses that helped me and Ray, they're just great. I was actually at the hospital for the Nassau Highway guys walk out, and Foss brought me up to the ICU where I was, and I see all the nurses. And
I saw a picture of you with him, and I think was that you with Tommy Shevlin? I saw a picture. That was a nice picture.
Yeah, it was good. Yeah, so it was nice to see everybody.
So, how long was Ray Stock in the hospital after this happened?
Maybe I would say max 2 weeks. I don't, because he was in a coma for a few days. Then he got out of it, and then they had to teach him how to walk again because of the coma. Maybe 2 weeks. Maybe
a couple weeks.
Yeah, I figure.
So I remember, eventually after a couple of weeks, going to Stony Brook for the big walkout celebration when Ray was finally getting out, and it was pretty cool. Of course, it's great that Ray's getting out, but it's pretty cool to be able to have you, his partner, be a part of that walkout too, and you were able to actually wheel him out.
Yeah,
of the
it was
hospital.
Cool. Yeah.
So what's it like being a part of one of those walkouts?
It was refreshing. I wouldn't say flat. It was. I don't know. It was a weird feeling. It's nice to see everybody to come together and support us and whatnot.
The camaraderie.
Yeah, it's nice to get, everybody out there to show you the support. A lot of media coverage was there too.
Always.
Yeah, there's always media coverage at those walkouts. And it's great. Those are always happy days. We're always excited to be able to be part of those when they're necessary.
Right. Yeah, agreed.
Right.
And those should be highlighted though. I mean, like the job that you guys did and the fact that you guys took care of a business at the scene and put your own lives in danger. A lot of professions, a lot of people don't had that same type of job where you would do that. And I think that we're doing it for the benefit of the public. And I think also to kind of show that the hospital is doing this work to make sure that you guys get out. Because I think that a lot of different police departments go through similar things that we go through. And maybe they don't have the same circumstances at the end like we have because we're so fortunate.
Agreed. We're definitely lucky to have Dr. Voss and his team and just Stony Brook so close. It was just,
level 1 trauma center.
You can't beat that.
Yeah.
It's just a blessing to have that.
So one of the things I want to talk about a little bit too is there was a social worker on scene for this guy, right?
Yeah.
Like a caseworker. And there's a lot of debate very often about defunding the police and putting more social workers out there to respond to, people with mental illness calls and treatment and such. What led to this social worker having to call you guys and not being able to control this person prior to your arrival? How much conversation did you have with that social worker? How helpful were they once you actually got there?
She gave us like a brief rundown of what he was doing. He was a pretty big dude. I'd say she wasn't big. I don't know why you'd send a social worker there. Then if he goes after her, now you just have just alive.
Nothing,
Yeah.
Right,
What are you gonna do now? You know?
a victim of a homicide. If you just send her.
Yeah, if she walked in and God forbid he stabbed her. Now what is she gonna do?
Right.
It's gonna take us 5 minutes, at least 5 minutes to get there.
Right.
Now
if she's not dead right away, you can even call.
Right. So I think it's pretty useless to have a social worker there. Just continue business as usual. If you're freaking out, we're just gonna bring you to the hospital. There's no reason to talk you down, talk you off the ledge. Because once the social worker leaves, I feel the person's just gonna bug out again.
Just go back to whatever was making them have their episode to begin with. Right. So, I think social workers have their place in the equation, but I think it can't be at the expense of defunding the police.
Oh, no, not at all.
Yeah, the police have to be a part of this whole process. The police have to be able to be there to get somebody who's out of control, under control when they're not being cooperative, and transported to the place where they could get the treatment they need.
Oh, yeah, totally. Yeah. And she was a good help. I mean, once everything happened, she was gone.
Right.
Which I get. I mean, I would be gone too if I was her. But
right.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why they do that.
But it just highlights the need for the police in a situation like that.
Oh, yeah, totally. Totally agree.
So after the walkout at Stony Brook, after you start to recover from your injuries, how long were you out of work?
Maybe a month and a half.
About a month
2
and
months.
a half.
Yeah. I wanted to go back because I was good.
Yeah. You had wounds. Your life was threatened, but comparatively to Ray Stock, you were in a much better physical place than he was.
Totally.
So once you get back to work, what kind of assignments were you working?
I did the same thing. I just went back to. I didn't want to go anywhere.
Right.
I wanted to go back to the road.
So you went back on patrol in the 6th precinct?
Yeah, back on patrol, back to Quorum and that whole area, and stayed there for a little bit until I put my papers in for highway. Then I went to highway. Probably like 9 months later, a year.
Now, did you always want to go to highway, or is that something that once you were a cop, you kind of understood the work they did and you decided, maybe this is something I want to try?
Yeah, definitely. I like the motorcycle thing too because I ride.
Okay.
So I wanted to do that, and I just like.
God bless you for wanting to do that. I mean, I work patrol in the 2nd precinct. I have no interest in being on a highway. You guys, God bless you guys, because those cars are going so fast, and you're pulling up cars over constantly over there. It really is dangerous.
Yeah,
it's super dangerous.
It is, but it's like fish in a barrel, really, because mostly everybody's a bad driver. So I'd say at least.
Which makes it worse.
30%.
Right? It's even more dangerous.
Yeah. So, it's good. I like getting bad drivers. So,
so once you're at highway, you're part of. I think you were part of the regular highway patrol for a while, and then you got assigned to a special unit.
Yeah, I worked on the expressway first, in the middle, maybe like Islandia area. Then I went to Sunrise, worked there for a few months, maybe 6 months. Went to motorcycle school, did that part time, and then I went to the now site team, the Street Takeover Task Force.
The Street Takeover Task Force. And we've talked about Street Takeover Task Force numerous times on this show. And I love that it was something that the police department created in direct response to conditions we're having here in Suffolk County.
Oh, yeah.
Now, was this something that you were recruited to join, or did you want to get involved in this task force?
My lieutenant asked me about it, and I immediately said yes.
Mm-hmm.
I had to work out the whole delegate thing because I'm a delegate also on highway. Mm-hmm. So I had to figure that out because I really wanted to be in that position because it's just, I don't know, it seemed fun.
Right.
Just grabbing these bad drivers that think we won't come after them.
Right.
So, and we did.
I'm glad you bring up the delegate thing too, because being elected a PBA delegate by your peers just shows the amount of respect that other police officers have for you as well, and the trust they have in you to look out for their best interests. So I know Tanner and I take great pride in being PBA representatives, and I know you do too. So I'm glad you brought that up because I do want to highlight that you are a PBA representative also.
Right. Yeah.
Yep. And your peers have put their trust in you to back them up if they're ever involved in some sort of critical incident.
Brendon, can I just, with the PBA representation, like what attracted you to that role? Can you just give us a little bit?
I did want to be a part of the PBA, 100%. Just be involved
from the beginning,
from the politics.
Did the original? You weren't a PBA rep at the 6th precinct yet, right?
No,
not to get to highway. So was it that incident in the 6th precinct that kind of like maybe how you were treated by your representation at the 6th precinct or by the PBA that kind of like, hey, I want to get involved with this more and more?
I guess, yeah. They asked me if I wanted to do it. A few people didn't want to do it, which I think should have, but I ended up just taking it because I like going to the meetings.
But do you think that kind of impacted you in kind of pushing to become a delegate and becoming so involved as you are? Because we see you at everything too.
Yeah, it's fun. I find it. I get some info and pass info out to
all your guys, get them involved too.
I try to, but yeah, I'm always there. I love being there.
You're at almost every event that we host. Yeah, you're very much involved. It's great to have delegates that are involved and diving right in head first to be a part of this organization and help all of our members.
Right. Agreed.
So once you're part of this task force, the Street Takeover Task Force, in response to all the street takeovers that were happening in Suffolk County, what sort of work were you doing? What sort of tasks were you handed?
So we would get our intel and kind of brief ourselves, find out what was going on for the day. We would do our thing, find out where guys are going, what they're doing, where they're meeting up.
So do your thing. What do you mean?
We would kind of do our own investigation into where these perps are meeting up and doing all the burnouts. And
I'm sure that's like a social media stuff.
It's a social media. We're all over social media.
Like Facebook and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, we know.
Right. That's what I was getting at, because these people advertise where they're going and what they're doing.
Oh yeah, they're fools. Yeah. So we just go there and crush them all.
Right.
And
exactly.
it's good.
Right.
It works out.
They're advertising where they're going to go to break the law.
Yeah.
So obviously we're going to use that intel to respond.
Oh yeah.
To stop the bad behavior.
Yeah. Foolish.
Yeah.
But it works.
So, the social media is very big in the intel gathering now. You're doing whatever you can to stop these street takeovers, but obviously a street takeover doesn't happen every night. So what's part of your day to day?
If nothing's going on, if it's like a rainy day or something, we'll just rove the expressway at sunrise and just patrol, normal patrol. Help out the regular patrol if they need. Do some patrol checks. Go to even a race location or somewhere where they would break the law. Maybe we'll get somebody, maybe not.
Right.
Doing something stupid, but.
So on one of those days, January 5th, 2025, so almost a year ago now, you're out there on the Long Island Expressway doing your regular patrol, helping the motorists, right? So talk to us a little bit about what happened that day.
So all I remember is, just because now I've seen the video, the body cam that came out, I was on a traffic stop for, I don't know what, I don't remember. And then Mr. Fisher, my perp, tried to act cute and race by me. Just that happens all the time. If you're on the side of the expressway, or I'd say every 2 to 3 traffic stops, they'll downshift and they'll try to act cute. Yeah. So not this time though. So I left my original traffic stop and went after him. And then I guess he lost control and struck me.
Right.
So,
and that's the thing. Like, these people, you're out there on a traffic stop doing your job, trying to keep the roadways safe, and then this guy comes by and intentionally tries to antagonize you and bait you into chasing. And he takes off at 100 miles an hour. And you decide to use your discretion, leave the other guy with a warning, and go after this agitator and try to keep the roadway safe, because now you got this guy driving 100 miles an hour, changing lanes in between traffic during, I think it was rush hour hours too.
It was like 5 or 6. Yeah, probably 6, 5 or 6.
Yeah. So in a crowded roadway where this guy's driving like a maniac, you got to at least attempt to try to stop him.
Oh, yeah. Because then the motoring public will look at you and be like, what are you doing?
Right. Exactly.
But the perp also knows that they knows their hands are tied too. Right. So it's.
So and that's part of what I'm getting at. You're not going to put yourself in too much danger, right? You weigh the traffic conditions, you weigh the time of day, you put all this stuff into your mind when you're deciding whether or not to go after him. And eventually he does start to slow down and try to blend into traffic a little bit, from what I'm told.
That's what I was told too. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know why he did that. But
okay.
It worked out.
And
not really, but I
guess.
And
eventually he ends up crashing into you and making you, crash into a tree. Right. So do you remember anything from when you crashed into the tree, the way your vehicle was positioned, the way you were positioned? Do you remember anything from inside the car?
No, not really. I think I had my back on the driver's side door glass and my feet were across the console, I think. But then when I went to go look at the car maybe a week ago, and my left boot was wedged in between because it was crushed, the door and the seat. So maybe my leg was, I don't know. I never seen the video. I'm not sure.
Right.
But I was in there somehow stuck.
Right.
So
yeah. So I know at some point Medcat arrives, Dennis O'Connor.
oh, he's great.
Yeah. And he actually jumps into your car with you and tries to prevent the bleeding and slow the bleeding.
Yeah. He stuffed. He just tried to stop. He did stop the bleeding by digging his knee into my groin, and it worked because apparently after that, once he took the knee off, my blood pressure just went down.
Right.
So definitely saved my life. Everybody there did.
That's like such an advanced thing to like the training that he got.
Oh yeah.
So like, who would think to put your knee on something to stop them from bleeding, like you said?
Yeah, and it working in a car. Right. Some mangled metal in it that was wedged in a tree, and it worked.
Right.
So.
It's thinking outside the box. It's maybe you can't reach in there to do what you would typically want to do to stop the bleeding. Whether it be, supply a tourniquet or do some blood, blood stopping, the powder. I'm drawing a blank on what that's called right now. The blood clot stop. Quick clot. Quick clot. I'm drawing a blank. Yeah. Right. So maybe you don't do those more routine things, but he has enough training and enough experience to know that if he just applies the pressure with his own body part to stop your bleeding, it can help save your life.
I agree. He definitely did that. He put I don't know. I think it was him. There was also one of my colleagues, Alex Intron, in the car. But they put two tourniquets on each leg for some reason. I don't know why. Maybe they were stuck somewhere or they didn't know. You don't know. I didn't know.
Or maybe they don't know exactly where the wound is yet. They want to be between the wound and the heart, right?
Right. But Dennis must have seen. I don't know what I look like, but maybe I was. Do you seen the blood coming out or something? And he must have. He knows. He knows what he's doing.
Right.
They all did. So.
Now I know you weren't present for this because you're stuck in the police car being, medically treated. But the bad guy ends up, he crashed into you and his car becomes disabled on the LIE. And there were actually two off-duty police officers that saw this kind of occur and basically held him there until on-duty cops arrived.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they were great. I think they were going to work.
They were going to work.
Yeah, I never met those guys yet, but.
Oh, you haven't met them?
No. Never seen him. Never met him.
Oh.
I think they told me not to meet him yet just because the court thing. Wait till the court thing was over.
Okay.
So.
All right, but now court's over.
Yeah. So yeah.
Oh, we should try to.
Yeah, we should set that up. So that'd be a nice moment.
Yeah. That'd be cool.
So 2 off-duty cops stop the bad guy and hold him for on-duty cops response, and
a few civilians did too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I went out with a few people after a golf outing. Went to the bar and this guy was like, yeah, I was there too. I forgot his name. But he pulled him out. Like there was just so many people that stopped.
That's great
to hear. It's very refreshing to see that. Yeah.
That is refreshing because this day and age, so many cops feel like the general public don't support us.
Oh, yeah.
But in Suffolk County, we do have the support of the general public. There are good people out there that do try to help us and do value public safety.
Oh, agreed. Yeah, totally agreed.
So as Dennis is treating you and they're trying to get you out of the car and you eventually get over to the hospital, at what point do you start to remember what's going on? What point are you aware of what's happening?
I do remember. I don't know if it was. I remember bits and pieces of it. I remember like being in the helicopter and getting there. I don't know if they must have juiced me up in the helicopter and then really juiced me up when I got to the hospital before intubating me. But I really don't. I don't know if I'm trying to like piece it together. If I remember after they extubated me or it was before they intubated me. I don't know. Bits and pieces come back. But
bits and pieces come back?
Yeah, I must have smashed my head pretty good. So.
Now, every once in a while, as you talk about it more and more, because now, almost a year has passed, as you're talking about it and as people who were there maybe talk to you about it, do things start to ring a bell and it becomes clearer, or is it still kind of like blank?
No, it definitely becomes clear. Like I see a few ES guys and they're like, you remember me? Everybody's like that. You remember me? I'm like, absolutely not.
Yeah.
And then he was like, oh, I did this. I cut the door off. I'm the ES guy for this, or Brentwood FD or something. I'm like, huh. And then he tells me what he's seen. I'm like, all right, I could see that.
Right.
So
it took a lot of people to get this all done.
Yeah. A lot of people there.
So I remember being at the hospital that night and Dr. Voswinkle, who was great, who treated you the first time when you were stabbed, and is now seeing you again for a second time, he was very worried that night.
He was.
Yeah.
I remember actually when I was I think after the crash, the only thing I remember is Voss is going to be pissed. I knew that. I think I was saying that in the hospital. I had a really bad concussion, but I do remember saying Voss is going to be pissed at me. I don't know if I guess he was, but
yeah. So that night, and Voswinkle is very, very calm, very focused. Like Voswinkle is a great doctor.
Oh yeah.
But that particular night, he was worried, and I remember him trying to keep everybody kind of calm, kind of just in a waiting and holding period until he was able to get you into the OR.
Mm-hmm.
Have you spoken to, like, you know, and at this point we're at the OR, your family and friends, everybody's starting to show up. You know, your parents are there. Have you spoken to your parents at all about what it was like at that moment, kind of waiting to hear what was going to happen in the OR?
They were worried. They were definitely worried because, you know, the operation, I think I got sick after that when I was in the coma. Just a lot of things that happened.
Mm-hmm.
So they were very worried, but I guess it worked out.
Yeah. So, you know, Voswinkle gets you through the OR, gets you all patched up. We're still in a little bit of a touch and go for at least a couple of days.
Yeah, that's what I was told. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I got a fever and then they would give me like ice baths. I don't remember what it ended. I don't remember. Was I extubated or intubated when that happened?
I think you were.
Yeah, I think I got really sick.
Mm-hmm.
And I started to like bloat my whole body, like
Yeah.
from maybe, I don't know what it was from. Maybe the meds they were giving me, but it was like bad. And then I got a fever and ice baths and whatnot. So
Can I ask something, like, honestly, like, I'm sure this is like very tough to talk about, like, and reliving this experience. Was there like a point during this whole situation where you thought maybe that you wouldn't make it, or like that you'd be, can you just talk a little bit about that? Maybe.
Right. Your mindset throughout it all.
Like you're a tough kid, like tough guy, and you act like you're very calm, and listen, you always got a smile on your face, but that must have been tough. Like both those situations, and this one in particular. Can you just talk a little bit about that and like how'd you feel about it?
Yeah, when I woke up, it was definitely hard because I was trying to figure out what happened, what was going on, why am I here, and I knew I was messed up until I was like, all right, let me get up. And they're like, oh, you ain't getting up. I'm like, what do you mean? So when I got up, my leg just collapsed. Mm-hmm. Well, I didn't collapse, but I was like, oh, I can't walk. Like, what's going on? Like, then I found out that my aorta was busted and everything, all my health problems. I'm like, oh, I didn't know that happened.
So what kind of health problems did you have? Or do you still have?
The injuries were I was split open. Some would say degloved, hip to hip, wide open. And it nicked my aorta where it goes into my legs. Mm-hmm. So that's why I was bleeding out. A lot of bumps and bruises. I didn't break any bones, surprisingly.
Yeah, that's odd.
Yeah, very odd.
Yeah.
But I think that's it.
Right. So I remember your abdomen being like wide open. Mm-hmm. And that's what really worried Dr. Voswinkle that night. And he basically described it as he was going to have to put you back together.
Yeah, and he did. Yeah, there was a lot of surgeons there. They rebuilt my abdomen. They put a stent in my aorta. I believe it's a stent in my aorta, or patched it or whatnot, and just rebuilt my entire midsection. Mm-hmm. Insane. And it feels normal.
It feels normal now.
Yeah.
I can't put back together a puzzle. Yeah, he put your body back together. That's incredible.
Unbelievable. Insane.
So how many days were you in the coma for?
I believe 9.
Right.
9.
I remember it being a while.
Mm.
Yeah. Once you wake up from the coma, you realize you can't walk. You know, who's there? Who's around? What are you being told? And what are you comprehending?
At first, once they extubated me or came to, I was hallucinating for like 4 days.
Right,
straight.
I remember that. Yeah.
I was up. I was ripping tubes out of my nose. I was not having it. They had to put gloves on me. But once that subsided, thank God, then I started to realize, seeing the pictures on the wall, and I'm like, the family comes in. Because I don't think they were really when I was tripping out, I don't think they were really making me interact with people, which is good. Mm-hmm. But once I came to, I started realizing who was there, and they were telling me what happened and whatnot. Mm-hmm. So,
you know, you have a great family. Your father's a retired corrections officer, right? So mm-hmm. it was good to see once you came out of the coma, and once Dr. Voswinkle kind of gave us the green light to come around and visit you. it was great to see all those family pictures in your room and your loved ones there. I mean, your parents were there. I remember going to visit you with, it was me, Miguel Villas, Dave San Martino was there. I think we were all kind of taking turns coming in. And you, by the time we saw you, you were kind of already back to your normal self mentally. Like you were joking around, you were yucking it up, dropping F-bombs, right? You're kind of talking like your normal self. I remember you being very concerned about, I think you had a drone in the car, right? Did you have,
I had a bunch of stuff in that car.
Yeah, so you had a personal drone in the car. And that was like your request to me was, can you find out where my drone is? I'm like, dude, you were just put back together and you're worried about your toy helicopter.
Yeah, no, I had a lot of stuff in that, which I actually found. I actually, when I went to go see the car last week, I had the drone from before that, but I was missing my mag light, my leg shackles, my Ray-Bans, and they were actually all in there. So we're 100% accounted for, which is good.
So as you're coming to and you're becoming your normal self mentally, what is the physical recovery like while you're in the hospital? What sort of PT are you going through in the hospital before being released?
So at first when I got out of bed, I couldn't walk. I couldn't walk. So I had a walker and I was taking steps, but I couldn't move my feet up. So I'm just walking flat footed and one foot was like this. So I'm walking like this. And it would make me go upstairs and I would get winded. I'd be out of breath in like 10 feet. It's like, oh, I got to sit down. And there's somebody behind me with a wheelchair. I'd sit down, do it again, do a lap around the wing and come back and I'd be a PT. Then I'd pass out for like 2 hours. It was exhausting.
Yeah, I'm sure.
So I did that for maybe a week until I was better at walking. And then they'd make me like squeeze the ball and blow air into this, normal PT stuff in a hospital, I guess, to make you good to discharge you. So it was really just the walking thing was a big issue because my feet were on fire and burning from the nerve damage. So
the nerve damage. Do you still have that nerve damage today? Yeah. Yeah. Because I know, like sitting here talking to you, a lot of people watching, probably can't tell, but I know you still walk around slower than you used to.
Oh yeah.
You're walking around with a limp. Like you appear fine on air while you're sitting down. But anybody that sees you walking around knows that you went through. Yeah.
I still can't move my left foot really up. I'm limping. My feet are pretty much numb. Say half numb with my toes. My balance is off, but I don't complain about it.
Yeah, you're a tough dude. You're making it through day to day.
And you're still doing PT, correct?
I'm still doing PT, every week. So
that first walk out at Stony Brook, you're there to wheel, Officer Stock out and, be there supportive of him. You almost lost your life too, but your injuries were not as severe as his.
Yeah, no.
This time you were very close to losing your life this time. And when you have that walkout that day, what's going through your head?
It was surreal. It was good to see everybody there, and I was dreading it because I hate, I just wanted to leave, go home. I don't want the publicity and everything, but it ended up being good. I've seen a lot of people. It was very, it was good to see everybody there for me.
So,
and all the nurses and stuff.
Yeah, so everybody's there to show you support. Again, there's a lot of media coverage, and one of the quotes I read that you had said to the media. And, we were all there, but it's very loud. A lot of clapping. The bagpipes are playing, the drums. So you can't always hear everything that's being said. But one of your quotes I read was, I just want to thank everyone for their support, and I'm proud to be a Suffolk cop.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I regret nothing. This job is great. Treated me great. Everybody from the top down.
So how important to you was the community support? Because I know, like, the police department shows their support. It's very... everybody kind of expects the PBA, the police department, the county to show their support to you. But there was a lot of community support at that time, too.
Oh, yeah, totally. Especially even on my block, I think the hardware store up the street donated blue lights to everybody, blue porch lights.
That's great.
They put blue ribbons on the trees and every mailbox and stuff. So
that's awesome.
So it was cool. Yeah, it was good to see.
It's nice to see the community backing you up.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, totally. And I'm not even from Center. I live in Center Meridian. I'm not from there. I've only been there for like 6 years. So it was good to see.
It's cool. Good to see them bring you in as one of their own. Like, now you're here. You're one of us. Yeah. So once you're out of the hospital, how quickly do you start hearing from, say, detectives and assistant district attorneys for getting ready for the court case involving the bad guy that hurt you?
They would be in contact with me frequently. They stopped by a few times to talk about stuff and just see where I was at, because I remember nothing. So I mean, they were in and out pretty quick with talking to me. But yeah, they were just trying to get my look on what happened and what I remember.
So I imagine because you don't really remember much due to the injuries you sustained, your victim impact statements would be very important to them.
Oh,
like
yeah.
the way this guy has affected your life forever. So, this bad guy, Cody Fisher, he was driving over 100 miles an hour, instigating you, right? Antagonizing you to try to stop him, causes a collision with you while he's under the influence of alcohol, under the influence of marijuana, and acting in violation of his probation because he had already had a prior road rage incident where he actually pulled a gun on someone.
Yeah.
So this is like a legit bad guy.
He's a perp.
Yeah, he's a perp. This is not somebody who's just out there having a bad day, making a bad decision one time. This is a guy who has a history involving, pulling a gun on somebody after road rage.
Yeah,
So while, eventually, and I imagine that not having full memory also makes it a little more difficult on the district attorney's office to prosecute the case, right? So we eventually end up with a plea bargain, right? So take us through that process a little bit. Like how often were you hearing from even District Attorney Ray Tierney? Because I know he takes a lot of pride in putting bad guys away for as long as he can.
Yeah, I guess ADA called me and she's like, he wants to make a plea for 10 years. And I had to think about it. She was like, I need to know like now, like 10 minutes ago. So I'm like, oh. So I thought about it and I thought it would suffice. It was good.
Right. And one of the
things, should be longer, but
right. I think we all wish it was longer, but one of the things to consider in a case like this is the laws in New York State, right? A lot of it makes it difficult, between bail reform laws, criminal discovery laws, all these laws that have been part of criminal justice reform over the last handful of years make it more difficult to hold people like this
which is
accountable for longer. And maybe he really deserved to be put away for 25 to life because you're going to be dealing with these injuries for the rest of your life.
I think if you run from the police, you should get a minimum year in jail.
Right.
And your car towed. That'll make them not do it.
Right.
I mean, and, alter the pursuit policy a little bit, but it'll give you
it gives more of a deterrent to do it.
Right. Be afraid.
Right.
They're not afraid of the police. Nobody, the perps aren't afraid.
He instigated you. Like, he didn't have to do that. He didn't have to basically come up, cause a big thing while you're on a traffic stop already and just fly right by you, creating danger to the public. He didn't have to do that.
Yeah. No. Maybe if he knew that he'd get locked up if he runs from the police, he wouldn't have instigated.
Right.
But welcome to New York.
So you eventually agree to the 10-year plea bargain based on all these factors that we're aware of. And we went there to show support for you and everything you went through on the day of sentencing. You made your victim impact statement that day.
I did.
Yeah. So, there were cameras in there that day, but I don't think a lot of people got to see or hear, part of what you said and part of how this has affected you for the rest of your life. So do you mind sharing with our viewers a little bit about what you said that day?
Yeah, I kind of gave an introduction on who I was and what happened when I worked in the 6th, and a little backstory about me and what I remember from the crash and how he altered my life forever. He did.
Right.
I mean, I got to take blood thinners for the rest of my life now, and what was I going to say? And he said he was sorry and stuff, but you weren't sorry when you were revving at me on the expressway. So. Right. And he thought he'd be out in 2 to 3 hours. And he made my colleagues fight for his blood for the DWI. So he said he's going to make us work for it. So.
Right. So it seems
he's sorry he got caught.
Right. That's it. I'm glad you said it because I was about to say it. From my perspective, he's sorry he got caught. Not necessarily sorry for.
No, he don't care what he did.
Yeah.
I don't think so. But I mean, you're a career perp. You're on probation. Did this before. You're suspended. You're driving. You're drunk. You're high. You're messing with the police. Like, what are you doing?
Right.
You know better. I mean, I guess not, but you should know better. You're almost 30 years old.
You should know better.
I'm 30. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe it's
He should know better, and there should be more deterrence to people committing crimes like this.
They should.
So that they do learn their lesson the first time, or so that they know enough before they ever do it once to begin with.
I agree. I think you run from the police a year. You steal from Target, 6 months mandatory. There should be
obviously
the consequences.
Because there's no consequences.
Obviously, the consequences from the first incident didn't stop him from doing this, which is a problem, I think, in the state of New York.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah, because that first incident, he was still on probation, and it didn't stop him from just doing this.
No, he don't
again.
care.
Yeah.
Which, perps really normally don't care anyway, so.
Yeah, right.
Not just him. It's just they all don't care.
And I'm glad you said that, too, because a lot of people talk about, like, even say, like, the Second Amendment and gun laws, right? Everybody talks about, more gun control, but the people that follow the law aren't the people that you really have to worry about. It's the bad guys that are breaking the law anyway.
They're going to get their gun anyway.
Right. So all you're doing is deterring the law-abiding citizens from getting a gun that maybe they should have.
And protecting
anyway.
themselves.
Right.
Yeah.
For
I
self-defense.
think everybody should have guns. If there's a shooting, investigate it and determine who's at fault. And then people have guns anyway. If they want a gun, they're going to get it.
Right.
You could make a gun at home for the most part. So what's the...
Right. So the law-abiding citizens should have the opportunity to protect themselves because the bad guys are going to get the guns anyway.
Yeah.
By nature, they're not following laws.
No, they're breaking into houses. Where was that? Selden or something? They're raping people. If everybody had a gun, you could have just blasted them out and, that was it.
Right.
Situation depending, but...
Right.
That's what I think. I'm very conservative about that, but...
So now that he's sentenced, he's doing 10 years, what's life like at home? What's your PT schedule like? What kind of support are you still seeing from your family? How much involvement and how in need of you are of help from your family?
At first, it was hard because I really couldn't walk and use the bathroom on my own and stuff like that, shower. But now it's definitely got a lot better. I could walk farther. I'm going to PT. I used to go to PT 3 times a week. Mm-hmm. And now I'm going one to 2 times a week at Stony Brook.
Okay.
Stony Brook outpatient. So it's been a lot better. I'm definitely getting better thanks to the PT and whatnot. They're great over there, Jen and Brittany. But it's on the up. It's on the up. Mm-hmm. It's on the upward spiral. So
I remember when you first got out, one of the big considerations was your house is a 2-story house and making it up the stairs. Are you able to go upstairs now?
I can go upstairs. You can
go upstairs.
Yeah, I could have did it before. It's really not a 2-story. It's like a deck. There's a lot of ups and downs in my house.
Okay.
So, I mean, I've never fell, but they were worried about that, which I get,
right? So what's your plan now going forward? Because you're still going through PT. You're not back to work yet.
No.
You're still trying to recover and do the best you can to get back to as strong as you can be from these injuries. What's the plan now?
I'm just going to wait until I'm 100%, and then I plan on going back to work.
You do plan on coming back to work?
Yeah.
And what are the chances, because now you've been through this twice, what are the chances of going to sit on a desk and kind of hide somewhere?
That ain't going to happen. Yeah. I'm not doing that. I refuse. I'll 3/4. Nope.
So, and that's kind of one of the things that I admire about you, and I know a lot of our members admire about you, is you take a lot of pride in being a Suffolk County cop.
Oh, I love it, yeah.
Right. You take a lot of pride in going after the bad guys and doing the police work to keep the communities safe.
Yeah.
And I love that even after going through this and putting your family through this, you still want to go out there and do real police work.
Yeah, my family ain't having it, but I'd like to. As much as I'd like to, they're pumping the brake. They're pulling the brakes on that, right? When I go back. So I got to figure something out.
So what are some of the things you've been going through now? So I know you recently had the opportunity to meet President Trump.
Yes. That was at the Ryder Cup like a month ago in Farmingdale.
Yeah. So what was that like?
I didn't even know what to say.
Because I see you're wearing the PBA for Trump shirt right now. Obviously, you're a supporter of
Big Trump guy.
What was he like?
He was pretty cool. As soon as I walked out, I had my mustache all done and my uniform with the boots on, and he was like, "I like what I see. I like what I see." I don't know what that meant. I don't know if it was because the mustache or I don't know. I was very flattered.
We should have given him one of those sweatshirts that with the mustache shield sweatshirts.
That would have been great.
Yeah.
We got to figure out a way to get him one. We got to figure that out.
Yeah.
We could work something out.
Yeah. It was good. It was surreal. It was quick, which I get. but it was a really good experience. Very, very cool.
And you guys got a picture together too, right?
We have a picture together. Yeah. Yeah. It was awesome.
So, you know what's pretty cool about that too is that, you know, you got to meet the president. You got to, you know, shake his hand. He makes a comment about your mustache, right?
I would think, yeah.
Right.
Maybe the mustache, yeah.
The PBA posted on social media that picture, and there were haters out there that were actually accusing it of being AI generated.
Yeah. I mean, I guess if you look at it, you could maybe think it's AI. I don't know. It could be. I mean, anything's possible nowadays, but no, that was real.
Yeah, that was real.
Yeah.
And that's what I want you to come out here and confirm that, because we were getting a lot of hate messages.
Yeah, no, I mean, people can believe whatever you want, but that was that was Trump. That was Trump.
So what was it like at the Ryder Cup that day? Besides meeting Trump, was there anybody else you had the opportunity to meet or hang out with, spend time with?
We walked. I guess it was like the VIP area. So I met Michael Phelps. He was just hanging out, sitting there.
Mm-hmm. The Olympic swimmer.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I think he's retired now. But I think Rudy Giuliani's son was walking around.
Oh, Andrew Giuliani was there?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Well, I think it was his son. Yeah, because somebody told me it was his son. Maybe a few other people. A lot of people knew me, and I didn't know them. So it was quite flattering.
You have become a little bit of a local celebrity because of what you've gone through.
Yeah, I think also the mustache though too.
That too, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I know. The mustache doesn't help, but
yeah, it's become like a signature calling card for you.
Yeah. Nah, it's cool. It's flattering. Cool. It's cool. It's good to see the support.
Yeah. So, you know, Brendon, obviously, you know, you look great. You've come a long way, because I've seen you from when you first came out of the coma in the hospital to now. It's great to see you being able to walk around and get around on your own, even if it's still with the limp, with the tingling, numb feet, these injuries that are going to affect you for the rest of your life. It's great to see that you haven't lost your spirit and your attitude. You're still the positive guy, the go-getter. You're the same man you were before this injury. And I'm glad to see that these injuries have not affected you in a negative way with your attitude.
No, you can't make it affect you.
Yeah.
Or else you're just going to fold. You know, you got to be good. You can't change it. You can't change it. So I might as well not sit there and you know, pout. You know, I'd rather just
you gotta make the best of it, right? You're still here. You're alive. God bless you alive. You make the best of the time you have left now.
That's what I think that goes for everybody with issues. You can't, if you have an issue, like you can't change it. It is what it is. What are you going to do?
Your recovery from this and how you've dealt with this is truly inspiring to us, not only us, but to the public as well. I hope people watch this episode and they see you up here and handling the situation and your mindset towards it and your attitude. I think it's truly inspiring. So
yeah, thank you.
Thank you for coming on with us, Brendon.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, Brendon, it's great to have you on. You know, eventually I would love to have Raymond Stock come on, and I'd like to have
too.
I would like to have both you on together.
That'd be great. That would be comical.
All right. Right.
Oh,
Brendon.
Oh my God.
Brendon, thanks for coming on, bud.
Appreciate it.
Yeah,
Thanks, Brendon.
Don't show Ray that. Yeah, I never hit the end.